Okay, so a couple of days ago, I uploaded this video, and it seems to have performed well. And a lot of you were asking me things like, why did you design it like this, or how does it work, or things like that. So this is the explanation video. I'm gonna do this all in one take. I'm not gonna do any editing. I'm not going to cut this at all in any way, shape, or form. So yeah, let's go. I do have a list of things I want to talk about. So, oh, and also try to leave timestamp in the description, but I don't know how that'll go. Okay, so first off, I wanted to talk about the rules and specifically like these things before I get into like actually how I routed it because of the way Minecraft and the way I coded it works. There's BS like race conditions, so I didn't want that to factor in. So first of all, during the clear, I'm assuming that every single chest that can be locked contains an item, and therefore is unlocked. So some of the locked chests in Skyblock, they will have an item, and you can open it without, flicking the lever. And the second one is all inventory actions may happen in the same tick. So things like changing armor, swapping like items within the inventory, that can all happen in the same tick. And this is because zero tick crafting is a thing in vanilla Minecraft to assist the speed runs. And because this is Minecraft, I can just assume that you can do the same thing here. The next we have to do with the race condition thing I mentioned earlier. So you cannot use an item until the tick after you change to it, and you cannot swap off an item until the tick after you use it. So for example, you can't like swap to AOTB and then immediately teleport, and then same thing here. In the case of teleporting, you may not teleport on the same tick you turn. So you have to be actually looking at the block, and then the next tick you can use your item. And this is where a lot of like layering comes in. So in the clear code, you'll see a lot of like turn head and like ether warp, or not turn head and swap inventory slot, which is one of the other rules. So one more thing I want to mention is leaps. So because of the way the code works, when you're leaping to someone, they have to be facing the direction you want the leaper to look at, a tick before and a tick after. Because I've ordered it, like, I cannot get around this. No matter how I order the classes, it's always going to do something screwy. So I need to add that one tick padding to make sure that it does exactly what I want it to do. Alright. Ender pearls land at the end of the tick. So this is just one I made up by myself, but it's my rules, so we're gonna go with it. So for example, you can open a chest, and then after you open the chest, the ender pearl teleports you. And this is valid because you've already thrown the pearl. And when it lands, like you're not doing anything else, it just teleports you away at the end of the tick. And similarly, because of this, you cannot teleport another tick after the pearl lands, because you just teleported at the end of the tick. You have to wait until the next one. And the thing about pearls is they preserve your orientation, so you can just look in the direction you want to teleport. And then after the pearl lands, you can immediately do an ether warp. And then, as for stalking, Dungeon Breaker still has not come out. Wow. Interesting. Admins, do better. But since we're using old stalking rules, as a vanilla Minecraft, you can only break one block per tick. This is a vanilla rule. And you may not interact with blocks behind it until the next tick. Also a vanilla rule. And just to like make my life easier, all stocked blocks respawn after 5 ticks. But you will see later on, I do have a ghost pickaxe. But this is just to make sure I don't have to do any extra like shenanigan trying to get the things back. Swap stocking costs 1 tick. Sorry. So you can swap stock in 1 tick, assuming you're on a non-pickaxe item and you end on a non-pickaxe item. I don't think I'm gonna do any of this because most of it is just normal stocking. Because swap stock is honestly really used for low ping like me right now. So I don't think I've ever used this rule. And the other one is creating ghost pick costs 1 tick because of 0 tick crafting. Again, all inventory actions take 0 tick. You just need to open and close it. Okay. You may have noticed during the clear only like star mobs got spawned. This is intentional because A, it's a lot of extra work to spawn like other mobs, and B, I'm not even gonna interact with them at all, and like I moved too quickly for them to like be an issue. So I've just completely gotten rid of them and cut out a lot of work. If you want to add them in, go ahead and pull request, but I don't see the point in it. The second thing is, I'm assuming that all Wither EHP is such that they're immediately debuffed. I think I used 5 lethality stacks and 5 LBs. You'll see that this makes for an interesting case during goldor, but for the other Withers, it's not that much of an issue. I don't think, because it's like basically the same amount of damage anyway. The third thing is I scaled the damage in this simulation. You may have been wondering why is maxor 400 HP and whatever, and that's because I've scaled it such that 1 damage in the simulation, or 1 HP, is equal to 100 million HP in Skyblock. So a 400 HP maxor means it has 40 billion effective health. And I've done the same thing for the classes here. I basically went around dungeons and I just like got damage and like converted them after power 24. And I will touch on power 24 later. And here's the downscaled amount. Ragak, it's a very interesting case because, especially for bers, because the way I coded bers is starts at 3 damage, which is base, but because of the stacking damage, I've just decided to give it like plus 0.75 damage per hit up to 10 hits. Or I think it was like per arrow fired or something, but anyway, the burst damage scales up based on how much the burst shoots, but like I'm just gonna assume like the burst just does damage constantly if it's shooting. This is really only matters in dragons, where burst probably doesn't have stacks when it starts shooting. Mage damage is just crazy, like 12 billion damage. By the way, I'm assuming it's Paul. So Paul, and then you have all the like essence shop attributes maxed. So 12 billion raw damage on mage is crazy. I think it's possible though, because I think I got 8 billion once, but that was power 31. I think with the new attribute, 12 billion is definitely doable on withers. Yeah, so there's that. And then here's the EHP for all the mobs, and then here's my calculations for the speed in blocks per tick. So that's a quick. Wow, that was 9 minutes. That's the explanation of the rules. Okay, I'm gonna quickly showcase my code, and that's the wrong code. So let me pull up the correct one. Okay. Let me close this one. Alright, so I want to pull attention to 2 of these, actually just 1, because this is just full of utility items that deal with net.minecraft.server, which is just Minecraft's API, I guess. So this is a 1500 line file, and this file contains the heart of every single action. So I've done these. I'm just gonna go in order and quickly show you. So I have move and force move. Move cares about if you collide into stuff or not, and force move doesn't. And for move, I did have to do a bit of like friction. It might look weird because I wasn't gonna try to re-implement the entirety of Minecraft's like physics engine, but this is close enough, and I don't want to deal with it. So yeah, if you're like not touching the ground and you like shoot yourself off the ground, like you just start moving slower in the direction until you reach the minimum. I have jump self-explanatory, set hotbar swap, and then swap items between two slots in the inventory. Turn head, wither impact. So the thing is, I was originally going to rely on my other plugin, Skyblock in vanilla, but I figured that this would allow me to get more precise with where I wanted to be. So yeah, I ported almost everything here. I think the only thing I didn't was Terminator. And honestly, I could get rid of the dependency, but that's work, and I don't want to. If someone else wants to do that, go ahead. Sure. Alright, so that's Wither Impact. Ether Warp, AOTV. Honestly, I could swap these two around. This is Stonk, Ghost Pick, Super Boom, Crypt. I think there's a mistake with the burst routing where it doesn't actually kill the Crypt goal, and I might fix it, I think, if I feel like it, but I don't know. Spirit Leaps, the Mimic Chest, even though I really only use this once. Throw Pearl, Ragax, Terminator Salvation, and I never wrote a thing for that. Spring Boots. I only use Spring Boots like once, or like in one situation, so I just hard-coded it for getting up to the crystal. AOTS, Last Breath. This is a long one. And then Ice Spray, Flaming Flay. Interesting. Oh wait, no, Ice Spray does damage. Oh wait, I think it's utilizing the damage system of my other plugin, so yeah, I need that. And then I've got Gyro here. That is a really long one. And then I've got Bonzo. For Bonzo staff, I've calculated the horizontal movement to be exactly 1.52552 blocks per tick on the first tick, and upwards of half a block per tick. And I did that by just doing tick-by-tick analysis of Skyblock's Bonzo, so there's that. Lava Gem, I've gone as close as I can to what it actually is in Hypixel. It might be imperfect, but it's close enough. And then there's just these utility items, I think. Yeah, so these are just some utility things. So yeah, that's more or less my implementation. And if I just look at anything, you can see it basically literally calls functions and actions. All right. So there's that. All right, now I'm going to move on to the actual clear map, which is this. So as you can see, this is 7x7, and Hypixel's maps are 6x6. So I noticed this way too late to actually like do anything about it, but as you can see, it doesn't matter. And honestly, if I had a 6x6, I think the clear would have been like 8 seconds or something ridiculous. So yeah, more impressive. There's like, let's pull up the calculator. 36% more rooms in this one. Or no, 36% more spaces to clear. So yeah, honestly, 8 seconds isn't a bad prediction. But I'm gonna go through the routing. I did noted down here, but basically I've got 3 rooms that I can insta clear. So these are mob rooms, and these will get insta cleared. So bers instas right here, and they do tic-tac-toe pre. They still have to grab the secret though, but that's the pre tic-tac-toe. So this entire split on the left here, bottom left, is bers. On the bottom right, trap takes forever because of like pearl throws. So tank has a little smaller of a clear area in the bottom right. Healer instas pirate, and then does 3 weirdos, and then this entire split on the top left up to museum secrets. So archer will do the clearing, healer will do secrets. And then finally, mage spends 1 tick in blood, which is enough to like, you know, get it to open. And then leaps back to archer, who's at the start. Arch will clear red, blue, deathmite, and then arch will go clear this whatever's left on the top right, so these rooms here. And mage will do deathmite secrets, besides this one on the left, which is bers. Bers actually leaps to tank. I routed this slightly after, but bers had a lot of like spare time, so they just leap to tank and help tank with spider secrets. And then mage just like blood camps. So yeah, so let me actually show you. So here's chambers. So this is where bers does the, I think this is 1.21 blog, but here's where bers insta clears. So they walk out this wall. By the way, it's pre-mined, so yeah. And they go here, do the secret. They come out here, and go down here, up here. I need to fix this bug. Holy shit. They come here. They wither impact is bad. By the way, I'm assuming that all bats and items spawn instantly, so you can pick them up or kill them in 1 tick. And then they come over here to this wall, super boom. They get this chest, they ether warp to this skull, which doesn't work in my plugin, but you can do that. And then you just walk out. They do this, and then they come here and do this. And honestly, I could have thrown a pearl, but like, it's not that much time to get there. But I could throw a pearl. If I set up, this is where the mini boss is. And then I routed it. There's a funky thing I did. I think, I don't know where I think it was here. You can just barely reach the chest. And then you like can get down here. And then I think it was this block. You're gonna get to that. That. And then you can get down. I don't know exactly how I routed this. But like to get out of here, you can actually ether warp here. And I don't know if this is possible on Hypixel. It might not be, but I do that. And here's like the mistake. I think the crypt lurker thing spawns here in the exact middle, and I don't think I aimed the arrow shot properly. So I might fix that later, but assume that this gets killed. And with their essence item, and then you do this room, you kill that. This is where I started doing pearls, because if you saw earlier, my first video was like burst clear route, so this is my first route, and this is when I started using pearls. So I pearled there, I get this, and then the pearl gets me here, and then I can like grab this item, grab this, I think through this block, and that's just enough for me to be able to like ether warp to the bat. And I think I throw another pearl here, I think upwards, I'm not sure. But I throw another pearl here, and I think there's a very tight ether warp that I do to get to the door to get this. And after this, leap to tank, and then so this is when tank like just about starts killing the mini boss. So yeah, and then bers leaves here. I think bers does. Oh yeah, I think bers does this part here. So bers ether warps up to here, does this chest, ether warps to here, minus the wall. I think I get him to chuck a pearl and then do these secrets. I think I don't know if I flipped the lever. I don't think I do, because I know you can like ether warp below this, I think, and I think these banners are wrong, so whatever. So the burst route finishes here. I'm gonna do healer next because I routed that next. Let's see. Go to pirate, which is all the way over here. Oh yeah, here it is. So healer will inst here. And I don't know if you've noticed, but I put my guild members as the 3 weirdos. This one changed their name. But yeah, I did not want to spawn NPCs, so I'm just using villagers as 3 weirdos. And just do the 3 weirdos and immediately come out here. So I think I do a lot of pearling in this room. I think I flick the lever. And I think that takes a second to go down. So actually what I do first, I think, is... Actually, I don't know what I do. Oh, wait, no, I misspoke. Actually, I come here to flick the lever first. Because that door takes, like, a second, 20 ticks, to actually, like, be walkable. Like, you can walk through it after a second to get the chest. And this is one of the unavoidable lever flicks. I don't think there's a cheese you can do to get past it. So I flick the lever first, and then I do 3 weirdos. I think I actually chuck a pearl just to get there faster. But anyway, I do that. I don't know if I chuck a pearl. I think I just ether warp down onto here to get that. Also, when I routed this, the foraging update wasn't out. And so I don't blow up this crypt, but if I wanted one more score, I would blow up this crypt instead. Because it's literally like on the way, and I get the secret. And I think I chuck pearl towards that. Where this wall is. And when I'm here, I chuck a pearl there. Because I go in there, get the bat in the chest, and I get the item. And I think I go here and chuck a pearl. Actually, I think I ether warp here, and then I can do this very precise one, and I can get to the chest. And I come out, and like the pearl land, and I ether warp up, and I have to clear this room. Yeah, and I think I chuck another pearl, get the chest, land, kill the mini boss. So this is one of the more complex rooms. I think I overlap 3 pearls at the same time. Let's see. I actually forgot how. Actually, no, I think I only stacked 2 pearls, maybe. Let me think. I know I throw one long, like that way. And I know I throw one like towards that. And it might have thrown one that way. I am not entirely sure, but I think, let me check. I chucked 3 pearls in that room. Okay, so yeah, I do chuck 3 pearls. The question is, where do I chuck them? Okay, so I chucked one that direction first. You're wondering why this took so long. I had to like do this shit for so long. Okay, so that's my second pearl chuck. Okay, and I think my third pearl is that way. Maybe. Yeah, so I throw a pearl there. Okay, so I think I grabbed the secret first, actually, and then I think this one lands first, but that one has to go up. So I do this. Actually, I think I swap out Ragax here because Ragax breaks fast. Oh wait, no, he only has Tree Cap. So Tree Cap breaks the melon, and then they get teleported up here because of the pearl. Get the chest, and then third pearl lands here, and now they throw another pearl this way, so they can get out of this chamber faster, and then they do this secret. These two secrets here. I actually tried doing the mine here, but that was way too slow. And throwing a pearl was like way faster. Yeah, and then here I throw a pearl that way, I think. Do this, and I think I do that, and then I go here. Actually, I think I might throw 2 pearls there as well. Maybe. Yeah, I do. Let's see. Yeah, I throw a pearl there first, and then I throw a pearl that way. And I think you can make this like incredibly tight ether warp. Yeah, like that. I don't know if that's possible on Hypixel. It might be. It might not be. But you do that ether warp, get the chest. The first pearl lands like here, and then you get that chest, and then you clear these mobs. And this is like almost perfect because like the route I use for museum like starts here. And I just do my normal route. You actually can't do this anymore. I think Hypixel patched that. But you can do this. I think you can get through the iron bars most likely. So I don't think that loses too much time, and I think when Dungeon Breaker comes out, it won't matter at all. So I get that chest. Actually, I'd either warp onto this wall to grab the chest, and then I just mine down like that. I think that's faster than trying to like align myself on the stair. And then this is the mimic chest. I grab mimic here, and then I go out and do that, and that's healer route done. So yeah, let's move on to tank. Good purple flag. Oh, yeah, I don't know how to make it a void world, so yeah, deal with it. So down here, tank starts here. Tank is gonna like actually do a 0 seconds out of here. So these are stair, or actually no, this is a stair, and these are like breakable blocks. So this is a valid 0 seconds. I don't think you can 0 seconds there. Don't think you can do it here either. Yeah, so this is the 0 second spot, and goes here. Actually, you can either warp onto that, and you might be wondering why there's no torches, and it's because it breaks my plugin. I don't know why or how to fix it, and it's still bugging out. Yeah, I don't know why it's like putting me in the cross position, but yeah, this trap route is like interesting because I'm doing 3-3, because why the fuck not? The thing with trap is you have to pearl unless you want to walk, which is probably slower. So this first pearl this way. I think I pre-throw a pearl that way, and then I pearl here to grab this, and then the pearl lands here, and then I just pearl up. And this is exactly my route for trap. I kill the bat, I mine this stair, I chuck a pearl here, and I'm assuming this crushes in an optimal location. And then reposition, chuck a pearl up, and then very quickly chuck a pearl down there. So you grab the chest and you immediately get teleported here. Can I really not fit in this? What the heck? Okay, I don't know why I can't fit in it, but I mean, Hypixel updates to 1.21. This will be really funny, but yeah, you do that. And they use spine out and they throw a pearl down here and they start the route for this. I think I have tank teleport to here for this chest. Because I don't think this is faster because you have to like ether warp so much to like get to the next spot. Whereas if you started from here, you could just immediately get down there and then over to here. And this is like just pretty standard route. You do that, grab the item, flick the, actually I don't think you need to flick the lever at all. I think I have, do the chest, and then ether warp here to mine through the wall and grab this chest. And then ether warp up, and out to red blue. Okay, so spider's that way. I don't know when I have tank throw the pearl, but I know I do a pearl throw in that room to like make things go faster. Let's see. Red, blue. Oh wow, I actually throw a pearl here. Okay, I don't know why this isn't a salvation ability, but... Okay, that should be a salvation. Oh god, how many of these do I need to fix? Anyway, okay, I have no idea when this pearl lands. Oh wait, I either warm up here first? Interesting. Oh no, I don't. Oh wow, I literally just instantly chuck a pearl into there. I guess it takes very long for the pearl to get there, such that I have enough time to do this entire route. Okay. Get that item, and I do that, I think. Get that chest. I still know, I think I do that. Get that chest, and then the pearl lands. So this is where Bers leaps. Bers goes to do like those secrets up there. Tank kills this. And goes down here. Get the rope pearl here. To get that way quickly, a little faster. And it gets the chest. And same thing here. Throw a pearl that way. Go down. Get the chest. And the pearl lands. And one of the interesting things you can do in Spider is one of these blocks. I don't know which one. This andesite block right here. If the chest hasn't spawned, you can actually ether warp directly onto it. Yeah, you can directly ether warp onto it and kill the bat if you like look straight down or something. Or no, if you look straight up, you can kill the bat as well, and you can just mine out this way, and that saves quite a bit of time instead of having to like go here and like go all the way around. And then so that's tank route finished. Okay. Move on to Archmage. So I'm going to explain these together because Mage doesn't have that much of an explanation. I'm going to explain the block camp by itself. So Mage starts here. I know this is 0 seconds you can do. I know there's another one where you like do a weird pearl into that stair. And then you just like mine out. But I've gotten this 0 seconds like literally one time. You like jump up into this stair and then you get into this hole. Oops. So yeah. Okay, I don't know why. Oh, there we go. So yeah, mage is here. Day 0 seconds, blood rush, and literally on tick 1, actually tick 2, I think, because on tick 1, it activates blood. Tick 2, they leap to archer. So yeah, and then I think arch kills the minis. Doesn't matter. Mage beam, arch, they all kill it in like 1 tick anyway. So arch kills the mini while mage leaps ahead and doors. And then here, mage, I think, just immediately starts doing the death might route, and then arch kills the mini boss. Because since blood room is going, you don't actually have to stay in blood, because blood room is going. So instead of like spending time like doing secrets in death might, archer can just immediately move on to well, and mage has time to do secrets in this room. Actually, it has a lot of time, but whatever. So blow this. I think I throw a pearl to here, and then I throw another pearl up to this spot that you would normally ether warp up to. I think it's this block. So get that chest. I think lava's stopping. Yeah, so you could ether warp to here, and grab that chest and come out. Go to here, I chuck another pearl here, and I grab the chest at the bat, and I get pearl to here, and then I just blow up one of these at a time. Actually, I don't think I do. I blow up both, maybe one at a time, but it doesn't matter, because like mage beam cooldown is 5 ticks, so I kill that. Oh wait, I don't think I mentioned some of the crits that I got. So these are 2 of the crits. Bers has 1. Archer has 2. Okay, and then you just come around over here, and then you open blood. And the thing with water is, I assumed a hyper optimal route that just minimizes downtime between spawns. So it works out perfectly such that there's 15 heads on a wall, and after water downtime, it spawns 15 mobs. So I grabbed the first 4 mobs from here, and that's giant. I picked Bonzo, but doesn't matter. They'll get 1 tapped anyway. And then 2 other mobs. And then water downtime, kill. And I start with whoever's head this is. Editable, I think it's their name. These are all guild members. I don't know if they're still in the guild, but I think most of them are. And yeah, so I think the way I route this is this. No, that's wrong. How do I route this? Oh, I don't think I start in the middle. I think I start with this. Go to the right, I think. Up, left, down, left, up, and to the right. So originally the last mob was here. But as you know from math, a diagonal is much longer than a straight line. And if I do this head last, because I cannot end with this head mathematically, I think it's impossible. So if I end with this head, and it travels much less distance, and what really matters is the distance from the last head, or like the distance to spawning the last head. So if I spawn this head last, it's actually 3 ticks slower than if I spend the extra time for Walker to like move here and here. So yeah, so that's 3 ticks faster than doing the other way around. Okay, well, that was a blood time explanation. Alright, so Arch goes to Well. And they go up here, do this secret, do this secret. And there's like an incredibly precise ether warp here. Like, it was within 0.1 blocks or something. but they either warp here, and they either warp down there, and straight here. Or I think, no, because the secret's here. Yeah. Oops. And then throws 2 pearls. Actually, no, I think they either warp here first. Throws 2 pearls. Actually, no, I think they throw a pearl from here. Then they either warp here and here. Where the fuck? Oh, wait, here. And they throw a pearl down. And they grab these wither S's, which, by the way, you can either warp onto this block and grab these 2. And the pearl lands here. Comes here, grabs that. Pearl lands down here. Goes here, throws another pearl, goes down here, grabs the item. Also, 1.13 is so fucking annoying. Like, it makes me go into swimming animation, but whatever. Anyway, Archer goes here, kills these. Goes here, gets this crypt. Comes out here, grabs this chest, walks backwards, either warps up. Actually, I think it either warps here. I might throw a pearl from here, but then I either warp up, wither impact the bat, and the pearl lands. And I'm assuming... Oh wait, I'm just assuming the mini's here. I think the mini spawns here. But in the time you grab those secrets, it's probably like moved here, is my assumption. So either warp here, kill it. Either warp here. Either warp here. I think I throw a pearl here to grab the item and the secret. I throw another pearl that way. And I go here, up this, to get this and the other item. And then I go into museum and I instantly kill the mini. And I go to here. Okay, I think I route this. Okay, so I route this first. I think I throw a pearl, like somewhere in that direction. So either warp here, go down, grab the bat and this. And I think I throw another pearl that way. I can get up here and do this secret. And then go here, grab the chest, ether warp again, kill the mini, ether warp here, grab the chest, ether warp in here, kill that, and grab the crypt. So that's Archer done, and that's the entire clear. Yeah. So there is a slight improvement I can do in terms of the clear. It will result in a slower clear, but it will result in a much faster boss, I think. Actually, it doesn't matter, because I'm time locked to 51.35 seconds on blood camp anyway. If anyone has like a faster blood camp, let me know, but I think that's the hard limit. 47 seconds and 7 ticks. Now the 2 improvements is I make this ice fill and I give it 2 power blessings so that I can get power 29. And where's the other puzzle? I make this quiz instead of tic-tac-toe. And this will give me blessing of time, which buffs mage damage significantly. I don't have the numbers off the top of my head, but I think just that change allows me to 1-tick dragons if I run 4 mages instead of 6 ticks that I'm doing right now. So I think that would be a lot more optimal, especially in P5. I might be able to get down to 339, like guaranteed, maybe even 338. I might put that off until later because I want to work on other projects. Oops. Okay, so yeah, there's that. Okay. Let's move on to the boss fight. So this is the boss fight, and it gets very interesting. Oh, by the way, if you were curious how I got the rooms, I just ran around dungeons, loading the rooms I wanted. Basically, just looking for, like, because, like, I designed the map first, and then I got all the rooms I wanted on Lightmatica, and I just pasted them in. And my goal was to minimize non-mini boss rooms. But I allowed 3 of them because it's the clear. So that's my philosophy on that. I did have to throw in the 2 1x1s, but that doesn't lose that much time. Anyway. So maxor boss fight. I'm going to ignore predev for now. I'm going to explain that by itself. So maxor is here. So it's pretty self-explanatory, honestly. AOTS here, Arch stands here, gyros the mobs to kill them. I did spawn in these mobs, but not the ones down here, because the ones here are actually a nuisance in real M7. So I decided to spawn them in. Mage burst, spring boots up to here to get the crystals, and come down here. And because they're time locked, it doesn't really matter how you do it. You're gonna have to spend the same amount of time anyway. The thing that really matters is how much time. Actually, I don't think that matters as well either, because like I think maxor has a 200 tick cooldown between when it can be lasered. So crystals doesn't even matter, I think. You just have to like get it down early enough to the point where like, yeah. So actually crystals doesn't really matter time-wise, but like you still want to do it optimally because it's a task and you want to showcase perfection. I think in this case, bers and arch, if you want slightly faster crystals, you can put on Black Cat for 500 speed and like get a little bit of extra head start, but I don't think it's worth it. Saves like 2 ticks that won't show up on the final time. Because you're time gated by the time it takes for maxor to fly from here to here. Or like here-ish to get beamed by the laser. And I think that takes 19 ticks. So you're time locked by that anyway. And I think I've seen people do 22-second maxor. I think their mods are on something and are inaccurate. Because based on my math, the fastest maxor kill happens at 19.95 seconds, and there's a 5-second death animation. So 24.95 seconds is, I think, the hard limit for maxor. And I think my sky tills is pretty on point. I think my best maxor is like 25.3 or something ridiculous. So yeah, so that's maxor. Now I'm going to talk about predev, because a lot of people were, I don't know, I think a lot of people want to see my thought process on this. So I will say now, you can get a faster predev with 500 speed. In fact, funny thing, I routed the entire goldor with 400, and then I realized that you can do it with 500, and they cut 10 ticks off of goldor. So there's that. So run to here, this specifically, and you just line yourself up with a series of like walking and like other things, and then you immediately start walking towards here, and you actually don't need to break the whole thing. Usually when I am forced to predev, or like whenever I play bird, I mine out this whole entire 2x3 tunnel, but you don't have to. You just mine the 6 coal blocks, and then you give yourself like a 1x2 here, or you can mine out a 1x2 here. So here I do a bonzo to get here, and then I run up and do another bonzo to here, and I do a bonzo here. With bonzo stats, I'm gonna say right now, I don't write this down anywhere, but in general, I allow 2 ticks of walking like before the bonzo like actually procs. But any more than that, it's not that realistic. By the way, did you know that this is a 0 ping server? So everything's done in 0 ping. Anyway, did that. Bonzo here. Bonzo here. Now, I could not make a bonzo up to here work, so I have to spend some time walking here, and then you bonzo to this. And the thing with this is, actually, I don't know. Wait, let me get rid of P, so I'm walking at normal speed. Speed 2 is 200, speed 5 is 200, 10, 15, 20, so 19. So if I get 500 speed, I don't know if I can make that. Let me try. Oh, you can make that. Okay, interesting. So if I have 500 speed, I can actually make this without jumping. I think I just have to be super precise with it. So if I have 500 speed, I can do this without jumping, and I think that saves quite a bit. So I think 14xx predev might be possible with 500 speed. I would have to do a slight reroute just to see, but yes, I think 14xx is possible now with 500 speed. But anyway, you mine through there like normal, and then you land here. You bounce off here, and you don't do the chest thing, because I'm just assuming you're going to get a big lava jump anyways, and you get to here, and predev is done. And if you haven't seen my other predev videos, you might be wondering, aren't you missing dev 3? Nerd emoji. Yes and no is my answer, because the thing with dev 3 is this one can spawn in a tick away from being finished, like this. So with this particular layout, there's a 1 in 50 million that any one of these spawns in, like it just spawns in one tick away from being done. So this is just an instant 3, like for bers when he gets here, because I think I'm having bers do. I'm having bers do 3. So healer does not have to go to 3 at all, which means that because of this, we can have healer pad. Actually, no, healer already pads, but whatever. We can have healer pre-pad, is what I wanted to say. So by this point, bers has made its way here. So bers will hang out here. Does it? I think, yeah, bers hangs out here. And then does this, and then clears this platform. And I have healer and tank pre-pad. So yeah, so that's maxor and predev. I don't actually know when I started explaining predev. Okay, I'm gonna deal with that later. But for Storm, I spawn in every single Wither skeleton. If I go to the code for Storm, let's figure it out. I spawn in 244 Wither skeletons and 4 Shadow Assassins. And let me tell you that my server does not lag at all when I spawn in 244 Wither skeletons. So like, what the hell are you on, Hypixel? Stop lagging the server during Storm. Like, I can run 20 ticks per second in this section. And I'm on a crappy laptop. There's no way Hypixel servers are not able to run the 244 Wither skellies. And whatever. So anyway, I have tank pre-pad yellow, and I have healer pre-pad purple. And the reason for this is because I'm doing the weird crush. The like crush where like pillars like here, and you like bring it down, and like Storm flies into it, and you like immediately start damaging him. So do that, and then everyone is responsible for cleaning the Wither skellies. The thing about the Wither skellies is they spawn randomly, so I don't actually know when and where the Wither skellies spawn. Or I know when they spawn, I just don't know where they spawn. They spawn in like a general area, but I don't know exactly where they spawn. So, and the other problem is they move around. So I can get most of the Wither skellies. Definitely enough to get a perfect storm, which I calculated to be 20 seconds of flying around the arena. Just based on like timings. And then after lightning, I actually kill off all the Wither skellies because it's annoying to have to deal with them. But whatever. So in this case, Arch DPS does not matter at all. I tried it with and without Arch DPS, it literally does not matter. So what I've done is Mage Aggro, Rag, Archer. I don't know if Archer does Ice Spray. I don't know if Archer even has Ice Spray in their inventory. Let me check. No, Archer doesn't have Ice Spray. But yeah, Healer actually leads down when they're done. But yeah. I think Mage Ice Sprays, and then does 2 Mage Beams. And that gets Storm down enough health. And Archer also LBs, if you're wondering where the LBs are. So Archer, after LB, they lead to Tank, who's hanging out here, I think. And then Archer leaves here, so that Tank can go to Pad. And then when Mage enrages Storm, they lead to Archer. And Archer can lead down to healer. And this is important. You'll see why later on. But mage aggro storm here, and tank pads and get storm in the pillar, and that's a storm kill. You do need 2 mage beams here as well. This is where the 4 mages would have been useful, because I could have 2 mages, although I don't know how the timings would work out. We'll see about that if I decide to route that. Now with bers, they pre-mine this entire tunnel. So after they hang out here, they run here and they go through. And there was a very precise bonzo, but I know it's possible because I've seen people do it. You like bonzo off of this wall, and you can just about make it to this stair. So bers does this, pre-mines that, yada yada, and here leaps out, and bers just like goes through to I4. And after that, healer does the exact same thing as they did for predev. They walk up here, they bonzo here, except here it's different. Healer bonzos over to the device, and just before healer bonzos, Archer will leap down. And Archer will continue the predev like bonzoing route. And get here. And then to here. To the other side of the gate. Here. So this is where Archer is going to hang out before Goldor starts. And bers, as you know, is on the I4. And I was originally going to have SS be done normally, but one of my guild members told me about the existence of I1, which is basically where you have 3 guys, so tank here, healer here, and mage right over here, because mage's terminal's over there. They spam the shit out of this button, and somehow that completes the Simon Says device in like 3/4 of a second. So that was insane to like know about. Like, I originally thought SS was gonna take like 8 seconds or something ridiculously long, now that you know the actual time of the Goldor route. But I digress. So yeah, so we do I1, and because we don't have an Archer, because Archer is all the way over there doing early enter 2, and you'll see why. Because S1's crazy. Like, tank stands here, they walk here, do that terminal, walk down, do that, and leave. And that takes like 2 seconds. Actually, no, not even. Like 1.5 seconds after doing the I1. Mage's route is the longest. Healer, I think, has a nice bonzo from here to here. Or no, I think here. And they jump up here, and they flick that lever, and bonzo to that. And do a frame perfect lever flick. Or no, I should say tick perfect. And I did not know that when I started talking about it. Oops. We'll just say 55 minutes. Actually, I'll just leave it blank. I'll look after. But healer goes to here. Healer goes there and then leaves. And as for mage, they do this bonzo to here, walk up to that. And what I actually have mage do is I have the walk off. Walk off and then click the terminal. That allows mage to start falling just a teeny bit faster. And then once they're falling, they can move to this terminal and get it. And that's S1. And that takes 51 ticks. Archer, if Archer were doing levers, there would be not enough time for Archer to get to here. So what Archer does is immediately blows the gate. Jumps down here, bonzos to here actually. I found this nice route. You can bonzo here and then do a jump here, instead of like jumping there and then bonzoing to here. And by the way, if you're early entering 2 as Archer, stand here. Don't stand all the way up there. That's not good for people. Stand here. I expect people to stand here. But anyway, Archer gets here just in time for tank to leap. And so now we're going to do S2. So in S2, tank will bonzo here. And then there is not an optimal route for tank to get to 4. And this is where I start deviating from like the standard party fighter terminal. just because of the way the timings work out. So my route for S2 is tank does 1, does 2 Bonzos, gets to 4, and then does this lava jump, and does this nice Bonzo to reach this sleeper. And healer route is they just like walk off, lava jump, get this device. You can't actually get this on the way up because you can't like move forward far enough time, so you have to land and get it. And then they get this top lever. So these two take the longest. They take, I think S2 finishes at like 140 ticks or something. So those two are the slowest. Mage does core, like normal. So Bonzo, not Bonzo, walk off into the lava jump. And while it's walking forward, Mage actually like right clicks and does their terminal. Now this does freeze them, but it doesn't like freeze them long enough like for it to be an issue. So they can still get to the stair after doing the terminal. And the reason I picked the stair is because it's honestly just faster. Because like instead of having to like mine these walls and whatnot, you can just mine into the stair and whatever. So mage is mage, and then archer runs forward into the lava and goes up here and does this. So this is the one and only melody of the thing. And at this point, I should explain the terminal RNG. So there are 6 types of terminals. What color is this item? Does this item start with some letter? On, off, which is the glass panes. That's red and gray. That's a 3x5. There's same color, where you have to like make all the glass panes the same color. There's melody, which everyone hates. And there's click and order. Now, the thing is, because this is a test, I need to get the fastest terminal. And the thing about, let's see. The thing about on-off starts with what color is, and same color, those 4 terminals, is it is possible for them to be one click. I have seen starts with and what color is be one click. And I've also seen same color be one click as well. It might have been 2 clicks, but it is definitely possible to get that as one click, I think. It's absurdly rare, but it's possible. The only one I haven't seen myself, if it's one click, is on off. I'm not sure if that's randomly generated or if they have like preset templates, but until I have data to see otherwise, I'm gonna assume it's possible to be one click. Now melody, you can get a 4-click melody if you get them all in the first slot. And so actually, funnily enough, the one you don't want in a task is click and order, because you have to spend a whole 14 ticks clicking the 14 things in order. So you actually want a melody, but it has to be the perfect melody, and it cannot lose you any time at all. So this is why this terminal in S2, which has 5 terminals, is the only melody. Because like the other 4 fit perfectly in like the 4 terminals per section. So what Arch does is they walk off, do the melody, and then make their way to this terminal. And then Arch is done. So yeah, that's that route. Okay, so moving on to S3. This is where I'm going to talk about I4. Because this is where bers comes into play. You might have been wondering where I4 was. Oh, wait. Okay, ignore these. The bers is I4. It's possible to do this in 30 ticks if you get a perfect I4. So it takes 6 arrow shots at most. And then 3 nice bonzos to here, and to here. So bers is going to do reverse early enter 3. Now, actually, funnily enough, I was trying to do traditional early enter 3, but there is just not enough time. Like, literally, you cannot get there fast enough. S2 is way too quick. So what bers does is, bers does the reverse predev route to get to S3. They go through here. And they... I just cleaned my glasses and everything's so much sharper. Wow. Okay, anyway. Back to the video. They bounce off here. Get to here. Now, when they're bossoing, Archer actually finishes their last turn in S2. So they leave here. And they get into the lava. And they can immediately start doing levers. Now, as for the rest of the classes, bers jumps to here. So this is a spot I picked for early enter route. And you'll see why. So we already have Archer who pre-lead. And as I've explained, mage and tank, not mage and tank, healer and tank, they are the slowest. So what actually happens is healer leaps up to here to access their terminal faster. But since tank is doing 1 and they're here, actually I forgot to mention, healer blows up the gate because their route is slightly faster, so they have time to do that. So tank gets the lever, and this gate disappears. So what tank can do is they can just walk off to here and do a nice bonzo to their terminal. So that's tank's one and only terminal in this section. Archer does the 2 levers there and there really quickly, nice and easy. And the reason I picked this spot is because healer can immediately just like run onto here to grab their terminal, while bers can just like walk into the lava, get a jump, and they can actually bonk their head against this to get their device. And after that, I don't know if I bounce it here or not, but you go here, here, and here to get this terminal, and you lead to mage. And with healer, after their bonzo, lava jump up to here, get this terminal, and lead to mage. So S3 is just nice and quick. A little bit weird on the routing just because of how the timings work out. And quite literally, I think this was doable by like 2 ticks or something ridiculous. So like, yeah, but I'm glad it worked out. Actually, bers was a little slower originally getting to here, but I did find a slightly faster route for bers. So I'm glad that worked out. Alright, so moving on to S4 and core. So mage will barely have had enough time to get to here, which is the core spot. And arch and tank lead first, I think. Followed by bers and healer. So the thing is, arch and tank finished their terminals in S3 way earlier than the rest. So I've given them the harder task of doing the levers. So the way I routed this is I have one person do 4 and top lever, and I have one person do 3 and bottom lever. And I think Arch and bers have like a 10, maybe even 20 tick head start. I know Archer has like an insane head start or something. But whatever, they both have a head start, so they get to do the harder one. So 4 lever leap, 3 lever leap, and once healer and bers are done with theirs, they go do 1 and 2. Now I have healer do 1 because it's slightly faster than 2. And again, with the way the timings work out, as you'll see, you need every single tick on the necron early enter. So Arch does 1 because you don't need a lava jump. And then bers does 2. But like they could get this terminal on the way up in the lava jump, and they all lead to mage. So there's that. Okay, on to goldor. Goldor fight. So the funny thing about having like 11 and a half second terminals is that goldor has no time to catch up. The goldor starts somewhere here. Takes them 10 seconds to get here. To here and start flying that way. And they start flying here, and then by the time he's here, we're done with terminal. So he just like literally flies back the way he came. And Yeah, so that's a very interesting, because like usually when you do boomerang goldor, he comes from like here or something. So he's coming in that direction. So like the fact that he's basically coming the way he came from is just ridiculous. But anyway, so you might have noticed that I did delay Mage's first Mage Beam by a little bit, and that's because Arch and Bers and Tank need time to do the what do you call it? Debuff. I think if I time it better, I can probably do it faster, especially if I have like 4 mages. But yeah, so that's a really quick Goldor fight explanation. Now, the people here just do nothing because they'll get teleported down. But Tank actually goes here, jumps in the lava, and gets shot by this, and jumps in the lava again. And that basically kills him. Kills Tank. And what Tank can do is they can lead to Healer, who is down here, and they can just fly to insta-mid Necron. So once Tank is here, and Healer and the other people are here, I did neglect to code in the minecart. I did code in the platform getting destroyed, but I just replaced it with barrier blocks because I was lazy, and it wouldn't have mattered because like after Necron stops controlling the 4 people here, they could just immediately leap up to Tank and start DPSing Necron. And I forgot to note down the time again. GG. So Necron DPS is basically self-explanatory. I just had to like time the rag axis properly for Mage and make sure the debuffs all happen. And Healer does their thing to go to Wither King. So yeah, Necron is very short. Like there's not much to explain about Necron. But if you notice, I did add in a line about when normal F7 ended. So there's that. One thing that irks me is that Skytill's timer is incorrect when it comes to timing Necron and Wither King. So the Skytill's timer will start timing ticking on Wither King 2 seconds before the relic spawn in. And that is not correct. That's just a personal irk. So the timing I used is the first tick of Wither King is when the relic spawn in. So that. Yeah, so anyway. Wither King. So everyone leaves here. And they equip Black Hat. They also use Black Hat in Goldor as well. But Black Hat actually doesn't matter. It just gets them to where they need to be faster. It doesn't matter. They have like 5 seconds. That's a lot of time. So basically, I have Arch and Bers pick crystals, run to the spot. And because they're wearing cow hats, they don't get affected by the speed debuff. So yeah, they pick up Relic in 1 tick. Bers and Arch right here. Mage, Tank, and Healer leap and place their relics. The slowest one I think is Healer. I'm not sure, but it takes 31 ticks to place relics, which is honestly one of the bigger choking points of time. And then self-explanatory. The order I have the dragon spawn in is purple-blue for split. And then orange, red, and green. And I think with the dragon, I didn't actually like make them move because like they're all gonna be dead in like 1 tick anyway. So I have like your typical split party type things, and then like ragax and shit, and like honestly there's not much to explain in this section, but except I think arrow stacks is worth explaining a bit. So the arrow stacks are actually like really short, and that's because you only need to stack for like 10 ticks and the dragon is dead. Like the arrow stacks are ridiculously short, but the dragons die so fast where like it's a non-issue. So yeah, there's that. And the reason I picked orange, red, green is because of the stack spot. So orange, you go here, and you'd be in a perfect spot to stack for red. I like the stack spot better. And with the way things turned out, I was originally gonna have a green stack this way, but because of the way it turned out, I just had them stack green from like the normal spot. So yeah, that. But yeah, this red spot is I think better because you're like walking into the dragon's path of direction. But like the problem I have with this spot is like the dragon is flying away from you, so it's less effective. But that's just my opinion. I digress. So yeah, that's Wither King. Not much to explain there. Okay, so I do want to touch on the areas of improvement. Obviously, if someone has a faster goldor suggestion, you can pull request your solution, or just explain it in depth to me on what your solution is, and I'll see if it's worth it or like if it works. Other thing is, I originally did this with 5 unique classes, but because like I'm just assuming no one died, you don't need a tank or healer. So honestly, I think if you have 4 mages and an archer, and you just make the archer debuff, and then let's see, you have 2 mages and the archer debuffs. No, 4 mages, arch debuff. I think it's possible to save a hell of a lot of time. Especially in Storm and Wither King. I think those are where I lose the most time to DPS. And then added on with replacing Icefill and 3 Weirdos. I meant 3 Weirdos and Tic-Tac-Toe. You replace those with Quiz and Icefill and get Power 31.5 and Wisdom 18. I don't think Mage is stoppable. I think Mage will get like 200 billion raw damage without a rag axe. Like, it's just crazy. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for that. I did want to show you how to get it yourself. I know some people asked for it. So, where is it here? If you go to the description of this video, there's this Dropbox link, and you just download this, you extract all the files into a folder. So, let me see. Do I have that folder open? No, I do not. Okay, that's awkward. And then what you do is you just extract into a folder, you get all these files, run the server bat, and make sure you whitelist yourself on the server. So that's the easy way. But if for whatever reason you want to compile this yourself, you have to do the same thing. You download the server, but instead you copy your world files into the your server folder. So if we're doing this from scratch, I'd paste that in like that. It's gonna cancel that because it's gonna take forever. So you paste the world in, you go to paper, and you have to download the wherever you can find legacy versions. Yeah, Build Explorer. You need the latest 1.21.4 download. So you download the server jar for paper MC, and I'm just gonna do it. Once you download it, you drag it in here, and you can just rename it server.jar. And then what I like to do is I create a new text file called server.bat. and then you just use the actually, let me copy from my other servers. Okay, so what this does is it just sets the RAM to 4 gigabytes for the server, and this just stops the slow Minecraft GUI from showing up. So that's that. So once you've downloaded that, you have to compile the plugin yourself. So, like I said, this requires a bit of advanced knowledge. Why can I not? Okay. You're cringe. Use PowerShell. I think you can ls this. Yeah, like that. Okay. So, okay, frick you. Which directory to that? Okay, okay, let's make directory for plugins. Okay. So what you want to do is you want to git clone the 2 plugins. You git clone that, and you git clone that. And what you can do now is I recommend you use IntelliJ for this. So if you open up the project folders, let me show you. So you're gonna have 2 project folders in here. You just open them in the I recommend IntelliJ for this. So this is what it looks like. I think it's gonna ask you to import a Maven project. So do that, and then you just package. And then it'll spit out a nice jar for you here. So this is for the M7 tasks. And you just copy it into your server. Make a plugins folder and do that. And then for the Skyblock in vanilla plugin, you do have to do the custom version. So what you have to do is git switch to the 1.21.4 branch. And okay. I misspelled it. So you switch to 1.21.4. Make sure you are on this branch. Otherwise, it will not work. Because the latest branch is for 1.21.5 and it doesn't have the custom code that actually makes the task work. So you just package that as well. And same deal. Once it's finished, copy this into the server plugins folder. Now the thing with Skyblock and vanilla is it does have a prerequisite ultimate advancement API. So you will have to download this as well, because that's what the other plugin requires. So once you download that, just drag it in. And those are your plugins. And the last thing you can do is you can save some time by doing the eula.text. So basically all you need to do is say eula.true. And once you're ready, you just start the server using server.bat. So that's a quick guide on how to get this for yourself. Honestly, the easier way would just to be download the server from the Dropbox, but if you don't feel comfortable doing that, there is the option to compile everything yourself. It's just a lot more complicated. So yeah, up to you. Anyway, I think that's everything I wanted to touch on for this video. I thought I would ramble for 2 hours, but it's only been an hour and a half. So yeah, hopefully you found this informative, and if you found any issues or like any improvements based on my explanation, then go ahead and share those. Yeah, I don't know if I'll upload this as a public video. I probably will. Yeah, just so that more people see it. Yeah, anyway, thanks for watching. I'm gonna review the timestamps and yeah, bye.